It's hard to do with one hand. I just wanted to show somebody this. This is cool. So, I have got a couple of Suzuki motorcycles. I've got a Honda motorcycle, which I don't have the key for. Maybe that's the key. Yeah. Maybe. I don't remember. Shoot, no, I can't remember. Anyway, so what I'm trying to do is get copies made of these keys. I have gone to 5 different places, and either they are unwilling or unable to make copies of these keys. I even brought them blanks that, again, they were either unwilling or unable to make copies of. So I get on the internet, and it was like, well, shoot, there's a key machine for 150 something bucks. This thing was on Amazon, and the one that the guy had in one of the hardware stores was like, you had a lever, and it kind of did all this stuff using that lever, and it was kind of mostly manual. But this one, if you've got your keys in there, so say you take this, and then that little knob holds that there. You put your keys in, and you use this thing to set the distance to make sure they're on the same distance from one to the other. And then once you clamp them in with this, you take this, and I have to usually kind of hold back on it so it doesn't stall the motor. And then you hold this button until it starts moving on its own. And what I do is kind of slow, just keep this sort of with, I'm going to probably put a spring on this. But it essentially follows, see, I'm not touching it, and makes the key and cuts off. So it came with what you see here. It was a little damaged. It was, the box was damaged. It also has a manual mode right here that if you pull this out, or push it in, yeah, see, you can turn it yourself. I'm not sure how useful that would be. But I was able to take my keys, and where'd they go? Oh, here they are. And make copies of my keys. What I don't like these big fat plastic keys that they give you. So I found these. Found some on Amazon, and that was these keys here. So one of these, yeah, so that one is for my Honda, and I found those on Amazon and made those pretty easily, pretty quick. And these two are for my Suzuki. I accidentally ordered, so I found these are SU Suz 16s, and then these are the ones I got off of Amazon, and they are SUZ 18s. The weird thing is, to me, it looks like exactly the same key. It looks identical to me. Well, that's the wrong. Where's it at? Yeah. So if you look at this, they look identical. But when I cut these keys, they worked immediately. When I cut those keys, no matter how many times I tried to cut them, they did not work. So, for whatever reason, those will not work for a V-Strom. But these worked flawlessly. And then I've got a key from work that I wanted to see if I could duplicate as well. I've got permission, but, you know, I ordered all of these keys off of a website, CLK something or other, and they were like 40 cents. So I basically spent $100 and something bucks on this, and I spent $150 for like an assortment and the keys in particular that I wanted. So I can't get people to make motorcycle keys. I also can't get people to make keys like this. So this is one of my truck keys and the door key, and they're too old for anybody to make copies of for whatever reason. So those I've got in the bag as well. So now I'll be able to make copies of those as well. So either way, I just thought it was neat. I've kind of learned that you sort of have to be self-sufficient on stuff. And the crazy part is when I talked to the guy at one of the hardware stores and I told him I was thinking about getting one for myself, he's like, have you priced them? This one was like $4,000 or something like that. Well, this one was $150, and it was actually more automated and seemed to make a better key than the one he had that was like a name brand. So I just thought it was neat. The one thing I wish this one did have is like a brush, a wire brush. So I'll have to do something for that. But either way, thought it was neat. So have a good day.